Okay, hello. Welcome in, everybody. It is a kind of a gloomy, gray, dark Sunday, fall Sunday. So, what perfect theme do we have in our world today for a fall time game, right? A nice, um, what's the word? Contemplative game that's just got this wonderful little theme of building out the leaf covered forest floor, right? So this is Leaf by what is it? Weird City Games, I believe, is the name of it. Is it? Yeah, Weird City Games. If memory serves, Weird City Games is actually out of Portland, Oregon, so that tracks. um, and it's a lovely game. It's got the rule book is really lovely and seems to be really nicely laid out. This is as is my custom. This is my first real time looking at this game. So I'm going to be learning alongside you. I'm going to be flipping through rule books and the sort. But that is what we're looking at. So how does Leaf work? Well, here we are going to be building out the forest floor, as I mentioned a moment ago, and we're going to be doing that by laying down these really high quality wooden, but they're like sealed wooden. They're not just like basically laser cut. I mean, I'm sure they're laser cut, but these are high quality, lacquered, printed, double-sided tiles. And so they're really nice, good quality. They're going to stand the test of time, if you will. And we're going to be laying these down in this kind of pattern on the forest floor, which is here on the table. And the points of the leaves are going to touch. And when they touch, and that also includes the stem, by the way, the stem is also a touch point. When the points touch, that's going to create actions that we get to take as players. I'll show you what I mean later, but the crux of the game is playing these leaves onto the forest floor here, and that will then generate activities that you get to take care of, that you get to partake in. One is the gathering of these leaf cards up here. And these leaf cards are, we're doing a little bit of set collection in this game. So we are looking for, but also different quantities of sets. So you want as many sets and as many cards in that set as you can get, essentially, by the end of the game. And so we're looking for sets of animals as we collect these cards. I'm sorry, these are animal cards. These are leaf cards. Leaf cards are these green ones here. So we're going to be playing these leaf cards. And one of the actions we gain when we place a certain color of leaf on the floor is to gain animal cards from this small board here. Now, so that's one thing we can do. The other thing I showed you a moment ago is this tree. And so we're going to also be sending our little squirrel pawn up the tree. That's one of the other things we can do. And when we do that, we're going to be able to get the extra thing that we land on. I'll show that off as we go. And I'm also still learning, but there are scoring conditions at the end of the game. They look a little bit like this. So leaf scoring is the highest squirrel on the tree gains 6 points or 6 acorns. Acorns are points in the game. And then the second highest gets 3 points. At the end of the game, we're also going to be growing mushrooms on our leaves as we build out the forest floor. Because again, leaves decay and become fuel or a kind of breeding ground for mushrooms and fungi. And so that's kind of the idea is as we lay out the leaves, we encourage growth of mushrooms. And so we'll be growing mushrooms, and the mushrooms are actually two-sided. They're these little tokens. They look like that. That's the adult side, and this is the little baby side, little tiny mushies. And so we're gonna, when we first put out a mushroom token, it comes out on its little baby side, and then eventually it grows into an adult side. And the adults are the ones that count. So at the end of the game, groups of adult mushrooms on adjacent leaves will score us more points, more acorns. And then in our winter den, we will be scoring the animals that we have managed to get into our den, the animal cards that we will be able to get into our winter den by the end of the game. There's different moments throughout the game. They're called frosts. Those little moments throughout the game that let's just move an animal from the top of our board here down into the winter den. So we're going to be gaining animal cards up here. And then during those frost moments, we'll be moving them into the winter den for hibernation. And only the animals that make it into the winter den will score. And then the other thing we're going to be collecting, in fact, our AI character already has one. They're these little sun tokens. And the sun tokens, if you have those or any leftover leaf cards that you have in your hand by the end of the game, you gain 1 acorn for each 2 of them, any combination. So sun tokens or cards. But the AI player that we're playing against, he starts with one sun token. And then you just total up your acorns, however many acorns all of that stuff has amassed for you. You total all that up, and the total number of acorns wins the game if you get the highest. So that's it in a nutshell. There's more. There's the little details around how the leaf system works, and the different combinations and combos of actions you can gain based on how the leaves interact, which I think is great. If we want to look at the overview of a turn, we can come back to this board. On the other side of this, the player board, player little card, this is kind of a little long card that each player gets different in their player color. It goes over the overview of a turn. It gives you some iconography and what the actions mean. So yeah, really cool. In fact, I'm going to leave it on this section here. And my opponent, I think I will go ahead. I wasn't going to, but I think I will go ahead and set up a scene for our AI here, just to make it a little bit easier. So I'll leave the scoring conditions on the AI's card. He starts also with 2 animal cards, and here's our little sun token that he gets. So he's already a little bit ahead of the game, but that's probably to compensate for the fact that, I'm a human player and it's not. So yeah, I think the rest of the details I'll get into as we play. These 3 cards here underneath the tree, you can't really see that. Let me shift it down slightly. Nah, I kind of need to see the top of the tree, don't I? It's fine. I can just do it here because these are big enough. I think it doesn't matter. These 3 cards here are my starting cards. I just figured I'd play them face up for the sake of the stream. These were dealt randomly to me. I shuffled the deck and these are what came out. So I have a sassafras, a silver maple, and a sweet gum leaf card. There's 3 different leaf cards that I have in my hand. And I'll decide how I want to play them as we go. In fact, I think I have... Did I mess up my starting position? I did. Okay, it's like that. Okay, the starting tiles are laid out like that. Nope, I am wrong again. Laid out like that. There we go. 1 up, 1 down. And I think it's the orange one that is down. Yeah. All right, so as again is my custom, I'm going to very carefully step through my first turn because it's my first game and I've never played it. So I'm learning alongside you a little bit, and if I make mistakes, I'll correct along the way. I'll try to note them in the show notes in the YouTube video that I post. I always record all of my streams and push them off into YouTube for long-term viewing. So if you want to go back and watch the show notes or take a look at the show notes, I will capture any known mistakes that I got. And you're always welcome to show up in chat here and let me know of any past mistakes I may have made, and I'll make updates to my previous videos as necessary. So, one little housekeeping note that I always should mention is that these are always benefit streams. All the money that I make from Twitch is always donated to Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So if you buy a subscription or you buy bits or anything like that, or you just want to donate to the charity, you can always do that at any time. Just chat in chat and the QR code will start popping up. You can, I think it's just !QR as well. We'll put all the information on the screen, and you can donate on my behalf, just for the sake of watching the stream. So there you go. That's the only thing I just wanted to mention, that if all the money that you produce by subscribing or interacting with me here on Twitch will all go towards that charity, 100%. So you'll actually see those donations from an accountability perspective on the Tiltify donation page for my campaign. You'll see Twitch revenue donations periodically as I gain those funds from Twitch. I just basically just turn around and donate them all. So there you go. The AI in this game, I should mention, is run off of this little blue swirly deck over here. They're just little standard AI action cards. You flip them over, it tells you what it wants to do, and it gives you its preferences. Again, I haven't played that yet, so we're going to stumble through its first turn as well. So let's just try to take a turn. Let's see what happens, and yeah, it's a nice chill. It's not too light, not too heavy. I think there's enough going on here that it should be a pretty interesting and cool game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And if you haven't noticed, the art and the production value on this is spectacular. So what's not to love? Yeah, we'll go from here. If you have any questions, shout them out in the chat. If I make a mistake, if you catch it, shout them out in chat. We'll work through it. So there we go. Let's get into it, shall we? All right. So here we go. We're going to take our first turn. And so again, as I said, I'm stumbling through my first turn because it's my first time playing this game. So it says, on each turn, you will play a leaf card from your hand, take the top leaf tile of that shape, and place it onto the forest floor, which is the central play area. You will then take one action for each tip of your leaf that is touching the tip of another leaf. We'll show you what that means as we go. So step one is choose a leaf. Play a card from your hand, face up into the discard pile, and take the top leaf of the type shown. So, as I said before, I have my starting hand is a sassafras, a silver maple, and a sweet gum. If I had two of any type, any one type, there's an extra little boost action I could have chosen to do. But as it is, I was dealt 3 different types, so I just have to choose from the 3 different kinds that I have. So let's take a look. If I play the sassafras, the top color here this is a sassafras right here. This is yellow. So I'd be able to take a yellow action along with any other actions that the tips of these leaves happen to touch on the forest floor. This is true. That's true for all of them. Or I could play a silver maple. Silver maple is this one. And right now the top of the stack is red. So I'd be taking a red action. And similarly, any points along those leaves also trigger additional actions. And then sweet gum is my last choice, and that's this brown one up here. By the way, the top of these decks are always the same starting tiles. Everything else underneath these decks of tiles are shuffled. So it's always going to be an even start, but it'll always be this start, unless you want to play the advanced variant where you just shuffle it all up. But I said, this is my first game, I'll play the first game rules. But this is the starting base game, starting rules that we're playing today. So if we're going to do this action, it would be the brown action. So what does that mean? Well, if we look at sassafras again, that's the yellow action. The yellow is gain a sun token. So for every tip of the yellow that is touching other tips on the forest floor, I would gain that many sun tokens. And I use sun tokens, I should mention, to advance the season. And that's this tracker over here at the top of this board. You'll notice we start out way over here on the one spot and we move this way. And as the first person that gets to move the season gets 6 acorns. And then the more you move it, the fewer points it earns you. So you want to move it early if you can to get the most points. Or you just move it all the time if you can, if you manage to be the player to do it. But either way, you want to amass sun tokens so that you can advance the season. And that's our timer in the game. Once you reach the end of that track, the game is over. So that's that. So a yellow would let me get some sun tokens, which would be used for that purpose. If we wanted instead to play the silver maple, that's this red one here. If I consult my little chart here, it says, red says, grow a mushroom. Play a baby mushroom or grow a baby mushroom to an adult mushroom. So if I wanted to, I could do that as many times as the tips of that red tile touched others. So my last choice is the sweet gum again, and that is this brown tile. And brown is move up one space on the tree. So again, that's the squirrel moving up the tree. And you gain rewards from the spaces you land on. If there is another squirrel in your way, you always skip over them. So you get to go higher in the tree. So we both, of course, start down here and start. We're not on the tree yet at all. So that's our choice, our starting choice. I think that those 6 points for advancing the season is kind of attractive. That's a lot of points. That's an option. The other thing that strikes my fancy here is growing mushrooms, because the AI is going to be looking to grow mushrooms too. So maybe I want to get an early jump on that. Because if I manage to get 3 adult mushrooms that are adjacent, I would get 8 victory points by the end of the game. So that's not nothing. Really, anything I do is going to score me points, especially here in the early game. So I don't think there's any really wrong move. I don't think I want to move up the tree right now. So I think my choices really are between mushrooms and sun tokens. I think we're going to go mushrooms right now. So we're going to go the red action. The red action is the silver maple. So we're going to play the silver maple. I'll go ahead and put that over here in the discard. And we're going to get this silver maple leaf. And this becomes our first placement decision of the game. So now let's talk through point touching, right? If I look at that, for example, that is touching the stem of this leaf. It's touching the tip of that leaf and the tip of that leaf. So let's look at what that means. I might even go with that. That's pretty good, because I feel like that's 3 points. That might even be 6 actions we get to take if I'm right. Place the leaf flat on the table, overlapping, connected to 2 tips. At least 2 tips must be touching. Including the stem is fine. When a leaf tip connects with another tip, it also connects with all tips that tip connects to. So in this case, it would actually be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's what I mean by 6. Would be 2, 2, 2, and 2. Wait, is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, actually, if I'm right. We'll see what happens. Okay, take leaf actions. Well, the first thing we do before we even take leaf actions is we check for mushroom reactions. If there were mushrooms on these leaves, then there would be some business to attend to. As it is, there's no mushrooms out right now, so there's nothing to do. We'll see that in a future turn. Then now we do move on to leaf actions. For each leaf tip that the placed leaf connected to, take 1 action of that tip's color. You may take these actions in the order of your choosing. Okay. Example. Let's connection. Okay, so I'm looking for an example of actions. There we go. Okay, leaf actions. Here's an example. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Cleo, the green player, plays the orange leaf. Okay. Connects to 2 green tips, 2 brown tips, and 1 yellow tip. Cleo draws 2 leaf tips, 1 for each green tip. Okay, got it. And gains, and I should have mentioned green is how you draw cards. And gain 1 sun token for the yellow tip. Okay, so you're not actually getting actions for the color of the leaf you're putting down. You're getting actions for the connections you're making. So in this case, I would take 2 green and 2 orange actions. I would not be taking red actions. So we do need more cards, so that's not a bad move. Orange lets me gain animal cards, also not a bad thing. So let's go with this. So while I was taking this action in order to take red actions, which is grow mushrooms, it wasn't actually what I get to do. It's fine, I'm learning. But I do get 2 other actions which are very good. So let's go with this and see what happens. So if I'm right, then I get 2 green and 2 orange. Well, if we come back over here and we look, our green is draw 1 leaf card per connection. So I have 2 connections, so I can draw 2 more leaf cards. And not just that, I actually got 2 of the same kind now. I'll show those off in a moment. And then I also gain 1 animal per connection. So I will look up here and I would look at the 5 different animal cards that are out, and I would choose between them. Some of the cards in this deck have a little acorn symbol in the corner. I believe that means they earn points. So we want to be on the lookout for those. If I see one, I'll look it up. But for now, these are our choices. I believe that is a frog or a toad, a squirrel, 2 ravens, and an owl. Well, how do I know which ones to pick? The way scoring works, each frost choose 1 type of animal to hibernate in your den. Only animals in your winter den score. Okay. How do I score animals? Just make sure I don't, I'm making the right decision for the game. Solo rules, game end. There we go. Animals. Each type of animal in your den grants you acorns based on the number of animals of that type. Okay, yeah, so I was right. You just want the highest variety and the highest number. So if I have 3 types, let's see, grants you acorns based on the number of animals of that type. So I can have as many types as there are in the deck, and then it's just the quantity of each number. So if I had 3 of each, I would get 6 points for each stack, for example. So part of me goes, maybe I should diversify and get multiple different kinds. But the other part of me goes, there's 2 ravens right here. So I think I'm just going to take both ravens. And so we come back over here and we place them above our board. We have 2 ravens right there. So that's the end of my 2 actions, all of my leaf actions. The cards I got are these 2, a sweet gum and a trident maple. So now I have a trident maple, a sassafras, and 2 sweet gums. I'll talk about what happens when I play both of the sweet gums shortly. Okay. Let's find out what happens next. Yeah, we did that. We took our leaf actions. There is one bit of a warning they make very clear in the rule book. Don't ever run out of leaf cards. These cards here, these actions you get to take. If you run out, you take like a -3 penalty of points. So you always want to have some card in your hand to play when it's your turn. Okay, so yeah, all right. Then if we have the 3 sun tokens available in our hand, we could, if we wanted to, spend them to advance the season. Nobody has that. I certainly don't, and it's my turn. So there's that. Okay, end of turn. You refill empty animal card spaces on the animal mat. Next player in clockwise order begins their turn. So we would just draw from the deck and refill. So we got a couple squirrels now. We got a fox. That's cool. Okay. All right, now comes the first AI turn. Again, I'm going to walk through this a little slowly because I'm learning it. Okay, now, first thing we do is reveal one of its action cards. So we're going to come down here, and these are his action cards. So we're going to these are all shuffled top of the game. So we have that card. Let's look through how this works. This is the leaf shape it's going to play. And then the leaf color and its action that it wants to connect to. So it wants to play this color or this shape of a leaf, and it wants to connect to yellow if it can. And then this is the direction for choosing animal cards and tree paths. And it's going to go, I think that means left to right, but we'll see what happens if we get that far. We may not need to do that. So first and foremost, we reveal the first one, did that. There is a card in the deck that says reshuffle, so we don't exactly know when that card will show up. And when it does, we reshuffle the deck no matter where it is, what state it's in. That's kind of cool. You don't see that very often in AI decks, especially not like kind of chill midweight games like this one, that you don't really know when that deck's going to reshuffle. That's pretty neat because we can get used to this deck and you can probably get used to what's going to happen when. But now with that reshuffle, who knows, which I think is cool. Okay, anyway, when we place the leaf that it's asking for, so we come over here, it's asking to play this leaf right there. So we're going to take this top leaf and we're going to play it. So we're going to come over here and it says play the leaf. Okay. Prioritize these requirements, connect to as many leaf tips that match the leaf color action shown on the card. Well, I don't have any yellow that it can connect to, so that's automatically out. Connect to the most number of tips total. Okay, so we're going to look for the most amount of connections we can make. Fair enough. And then connect to the least number of leaves with mushrooms of the human player. So it doesn't want to advance my growth of mushrooms. So it's trying to avoid doing that at all costs, essentially. So first and foremost, where can we connect the most? Well, that's one option. Okay. What other connections can we do here? I believe I can make that work. I can. All right. So that's two that we can do. Those are both equals, so that's great. There are no mushrooms out. Okay, so no matter what I can do, I can always connect three. So at that point, if there are multiple leaf options for the north wind, prioritize connecting to the leaves in this order: red, orange, brown, yellow, green. Okay, well, that's red and orange. Red and orange are its two top priorities. So that's what we're going to end up with. Okay, now it says leaf boost. If the north wind's leaf connects to 3 or fewer leaf tips, it connects to 3, so that qualifies. 3 or fewer is the rule. Then they place a baby mushroom on their leaf. That sucks. They immediately get to do that. Okay, well, there it is. The first mushroom is growing on the forest floor, and it belongs to the AI player, who is yellow. By the way, I am playing green. That's what my mushrooms look like, but it's playing yellow, and so it's got a mushroom growing. Okay. Take the north wind's actions following modified rules. Right. Got it. Okay, so what does it do when it takes 2 red and 2 orange actions? Well, it's before the first hibernation, which we have not moved the clock any, so that's true. For the first action, place a baby mushroom on the played leaf. For additional red actions, place a baby mushroom. Can you have more than 1 mushroom per leaf? I don't know. Let's go look. Let's go look. Can we play grow a mushroom? Add 1 of your mushrooms to a leaf or grow 1 into an adult by flipping it over. You may add a baby mushroom to any leaf that does not already have one. Aha. Multiple players may have mushrooms on the same leaf, but each player may only have 1. Aha. Okay, so for the first action, got it. For additional red actions, place a baby mushroom on the adjacent leaf with the most open tips. Okay, interesting. If all adjacent leaves have mushrooms, grow 1 into adult. Okay, so that means I'm going to grow, I have 2 red actions. So I'm going to grow a mushroom here and a mushroom here because they're both adjacent. And they both have, this has 2 tips open and this has, looks like 2 tips open because the stem counts. So that's perfectly legal. We're going to put 2 babies out here. So not only does it have 1 here because of its boost, but it gained 2 more for its 2 red actions. Orange gained 1 animal card. North Wind prioritizes animals in this order, attempting to satisfy as many requirements as possible. Matches animals the North Wind has in their forest. Okay, so it's looking for squirrels or hedgehogs primarily. That's what it's got in its forest, which is these 2 cards here, by the way. It's trying to make groups of 3 if it can. Animals with acorn icons. This is an acorn icon. There is an acorn icon out on the board right there. So that might be an option. If there are multiple possible choices, left to right based on the arrow on the card. Got it. If there are no animals that meet the requirements. Yeah, that's not the case right now. Okay, so it wants squirrels. Prioritizing making groups of 3. So that tells me it's going to take both squirrels and make a group of 3 right now. That's its top priority. And I can't also do that and get acorns, so that's the choice it's making. And I think that is the correct choice. So it has its first set of 3. I have a set of 2 for comparison. So that's not good. He's already ahead of me there. What are we going to do next? All right, so that takes care of its actions for this first round. Did that. Take the actions. At the end of the turn, if the North Wind has 3 or more sun tokens, they immediately spend it to advance the season. It does not, so that it will not. Okay, all right, back to me. Well, we know that we're supposed to refill the animal board, so we're going to do that. The season has not moved. Looks like we have another bird, but it's not a... Oh, that might not be a crow. What is that? What is the name of that animal? It's in the back of the book. By the way, really cool. They included a really nice encyclopedia of forest facts. It gives you all the information about the birds and the flora and the fauna in the game, which I think is great. And that is a blackbird. That's a red-winged blackbird that I'm collecting, not a crow. The raven is what just came out on the board up here. So... and there are no duplicates out there. Well, let's figure out what we want to play. I think we want to play the sweet gum because the sweet gum gives me my own boost because I can play both cards. I'll show you how that works as I play it. But brown lets me move up 1 space on the tree. So... I'm not actually playing brown, though. I have to remember, I'm playing what I connect to it. So I have to be careful there. I could connect it to that red over there, though, and get 2 mushroom actions of my own. That's not a bad thing. Is there a competition on the leaves? I mean, on the mushrooms. I don't think there are. I think there's stuff about like how it works, but you're not like, oh, I only win, I think anyway. Let me double check. Mushrooms. Each animal and mushroom past the 3rd in a group adds 1 acorn, and so a 5 mushroom group is worth 10. Wow, okay. Group of adult mushrooms adjacent side, baby mushrooms do not count. So no, I don't see anything about it like negating other players by having more adults on the same leaf or something like that. It's not about that. So that's not it. We're just growing our own mushrooms to the best of our ability. All right, well, let's definitely play the sweet gum. We're going to play both of the sweet gum cards. I'll show you how this works in a minute. So we're going to take the sweet gum tile, and there's that. Where do we want to go? We did green the last time. We're playing 2 cards, but that's okay. Do we want orange? Is gaining animal cards? Kinda, but I'd like to be able to like get 2 cards and then make it count and all of that. So I feel like getting individual cards is kind of meh this game, or this round. Yellow, give me sun tokens, but I'd only get 1 yellow. Ooh, there I go, messing it up again. I know we could do that, but I'd only get 1 red and 1 yellow. That's not true. I'd get 2 red and 1 yellow. That's how that would work. 2 red isn't terrible. I would like to instead... 2 red and a yellow. I get 1 sun token. I could instead come here, though. This feels better to me. Draw more cards. Could do the same thing, but over here. But if I do that, then instead I'd be drawing animal cards. So I think I'd rather come over here, start building out our force fort that way. So I get to draw 2 more cards and take red actions. Red actions let me grow mushrooms. Yeah, let's compete on mushrooms a little bit. We're going to take this action. And so here's the deal with leaf boosts. Play a leaf card to take the top leaf of that shape. That's what I've done. Leaf boost. Discard a matching leaf card to place a baby mushroom on your leaf. So right away, I get to immediately grow a baby mushroom for using that second card. Now we resolve the actions. Let's look at mushroom reactions though, because there now are mushrooms on the board. And so we need to make sure that we don't forget. Other players may gain reactions from your leaf placement. Each of the largest mushrooms on an adjacent leaf each of the largest mushrooms on an adjacent leaf rewards its player with 1 sun token from the supply. There's a tie for largest, so there's nobody that has that win. If this was an adult mushroom here, then it would have earned a sun token. But as it stands, there is a tie, so nothing happens. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. I could be wrong, but I see no reason to suggest that is incorrect. So we're going to go with that. Okay, so there is no reaction. Now, what am I doing? I'm going to draw cards. That's the easy part. But these, like, how do we actually grow mushrooms? First things first, add 1 of your baby mushrooms to a leaf, or grow 1 of your baby mushrooms to an adult by flipping it over. You may add a baby mushroom to any leaf that does not already have 1 of your mushrooms. Oh, it doesn't have to be adjacent. Cool. Multiple players may have mushrooms on the same leaf. Got it. Okay. So I think for one of my actions, I'm going to place this mushroom right here. And because it's on the outside, I think I'm going to go ahead and just for my second mushroom action, I'm going to grow it into an adult. And the reason why is I want to break that tie and see if the AI player, will end up scoring me sun tokens. If nothing else, I'll do it myself later. I could have instead placed a third mushroom, but I want to see if that adult adjacency thing is worth it. Okay, so my other 2 are 2 green actions. That just lets me draw 2 more cards. So I'll go ahead and do that. Since you can see them right there, I'll just put them right there on the board. Okay. Okay, so again, we have sassafras right here. That's going to let me do another leaf boost. That's pretty handy. All right. So far, I kind of like it. It's pretty neat. The thematic integration is very, very good. I like the art. Okay. I didn't take any animal cards this round, so there's nothing to replenish. That's the end of the turn, I believe. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I don't have any sun tokens, so I can't advance the season. So, yeah. That's that. Okay. And then now it is the AI's turn, so we'll go again. Okay, so it wants to take this leaf. So I'll put that right here. And it wants to connect with green. That's good for me because I have an adult mushroom on that. Let's make sure that I resolve this solo action correct for the not first time, but second time. Connect to as many leaf tips that match the color as possible. Connect to the most number of tips total. Okay. All right. That would be 2. I think that's the most it's going to be able to connect to, because like technically I could do that. Connect to the least number of leaves with mushrooms of the human player. So it won't connect to this other leaf here because it's got my mushroom on it. So it could, in fact, this is the point that it wants to make, the connection it wants to make, because this is the most amount of leaf tips connections possible, and it's the least number of mushrooms it's connecting to. This is the placement it would choose. Nice. So now it gets a leaf boost because it only connected to 3 different tips. So it's going to put its mushroom out here. Mushroom reaction. And now we look at how that works in real life, because now I actually have the break here. Let's see, mushroom reactions. Each of the largest mushrooms on an adjacent leaf rewards its player 1 sun token. So this is a tie, so it doesn't get one for this mushroom. And this is not a tie. I win this tie, but this contest, so I get the sun token. That's why it wants to avoid my mushrooms, because it doesn't want to reward me sun tokens if it can help it. So just like that, I have earned a sun token for having larger mushrooms than my opponent. And there it is. All right. So now we have done that part. We haven't taken its actions yet. We just did the mushroom reaction, the mushroom reactions. So it gets to take 2 green actions and 2 orange actions. And the solo, it says orange, gained 1 animal card per tip, of course. So 2 in this case. Animals in this order. Prioritize animals matching the animals it has. It doesn't, neither of those 2 animals are out there right now, so that's not an option. Animals with acorns. Well, there's this one. So it's definitely taking the fox with an acorn on it. Right. Okay, so because the second one, there are no options available to it that meet those criteria, either animals it already has or animals with acorn icons on them. It always just top decks the animal deck. And it successfully got an acorn for that top deck, which I really don't like, but it is what it is. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so it's green action, gain 1 acorn token. So it just gets points. It gets single points for every acorn token for every green action it takes. Also hate that. So there we go. It's got the first points have been earned and they belong to the AI. But it's fast at least. So I'll give you that. Okay. That's that. And it does not have enough sun tokens to advance the season, so it doesn't do it. We refill and it's back to me. Ooh, squirrels. Am I allowed to top deck the animal deck myself? Is that something I can do? Let's take a look. I want to know. You may choose a face-up animal card or draw the top deck. Yes, okay. And then in my case, if the animal has an acorn token, gain an acorn. I have a feeling that's going to be true for the AI player too, but it doesn't say to immediately take acorns. So scoring. I don't think it earns acorns. It just steals them from me. Okay. I get it. I might want to top deck this. See if I can't get this blackbird. I might. And then if nothing else, I can take the raven away from him for my second draw. That's probably what I'll do. I'm going to top deck for 1, and I do get a raven, and it has an acorn, so I get the acorn. Not a bad thing. Okay, but then for my second draw, I will take this blackbird. Oh, sorry, that is a raven. I'll take the raven away from him. So now I have 2 sets of 2. He's already got a set of 3. And there's the bird that I want, of course. He's already got a set of 3 chipmunks, so I don't think he's going to go for that. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Was that it? That was it. He did 2 orange actions and 2 green actions, and we handled the mushrooms, and he doesn't have enough sunshine tokens to advance the to advance the season. So it's back to me. Nope, that's not true. I was just doing my actions. Wait a minute. I've lost the plot. Hold on. I want to make sure I didn't just take cards for himself. No, he did that. He did that. Why did I pull birds? Hold on. Hold on. That was him. That was him. He did that. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Let's see if I can actually make that work where I took animal actions. Hold on. He did this stuff already. I took birds. I shouldn't have taken birds because it was actually, I hadn't even played my leaf yet. So I'm going to play my leaf. I'm playing sassafras. We knew we were going to do that anyway. We're going to take this and we're going to take the action that would have let me take animals. So I'm definitely going to connect it to the orange leaf in some way or another. And that I'll just make the choices that I made legal by doing so. Brown lets me move up the space on the tree, or yellow gives me sun tokens. I'm going to take the sun tokens. I could do that. Or, is that what I want to do? It seems like a waste. It'd be better to go there and get 4 actions instead of 3. But I could go that way, or if I go that way, then it's only 1. That's kind of a waste. 2 orange actions, so that takes care of the 2 animals and the yellow. I'd like to get 2 yellows, but I don't see that that's even possible. Like, there's no way I can rotate that in a way that I get 2 yellow actions. So do I do that, or do I go up the tree twice? Maybe I go up the tree twice. I think I'm going to go up the tree twice. Okay, we are going to take this. We're going to avoid the 6 points. That might be bad from the season, but that's what we're doing. This is the animal. It takes care of the animal cards I took. I should not have done it in that way. I just got so excited for the cards. I think I just jumped ahead. So there we go. So I only resolved the brown actions because I already resolved the orange. But first I need to place a mushroom. No, I don't. Because I don't get to place a mushroom like that. No, it's only red, and I did take a red action. So we're only taking the brown. So we're going to resolve the tree. Sorry about that, folks. I'm just trying to get used to it. We've never taken a tree action before, so let's take one based on how the thing says. Okay, tree. There we go. Move your squirrel. Move your squirrel 1 space and gain the reward on the space you land on. If you would move onto a space occupied, skip over it. If you advance past the top space instead, don't move, gain 1 acorn. And then you choose when you get to a branch. Okay. So I'm here and I can go in one direction. I can go here, right? So that's 1. I get a sun token. That's not bad. And then my next one is either another sun token or another leaf card. I think I want the sun token. So I'm going to go this way and get another sun token. That gives me my 3rd sun token. Which is great. Oh, and I forgot, in all that hullabaloo, I did play both cards. I played the 1 card that let me play the leaf, but then I also played a second sassafras card that let me grow a mushroom. So there is a mushroom reaction happening here. So I play this, and then we look at the adjacency situation. Well, because all of these are the same, they're all young, there is no reaction. There are no adults right there to compete with. So nobody gets a sun token. All right. Okay, so I did get to grow a mushroom though, which is great. What do I want to do now? Is that it? Well, I guess it is the end of my turn, and I do have 3 sun tokens. So I'm going to, before he gets a chance to, I'm going to go ahead and advance the season. So I'm going to spend my 3 sun tokens. And let's make sure that we just confirm that advancing the season. There we go. The season track is at the top of the animal mat. Players will collectively advance the season marker along with the season track by spending sun tokens. Once per turn, you may discard 3 sun tokens to move the season marker forward 1 space and gain the acorns shown in the destination's space. And that's all it is. Okay, cool. So we come up here and we take a look. All I will do is start out here and we just shift that way. And so I get 6 acorns. Nice. Okay, I got 6 acorns and the season has progressed. I like it. All right, that's the end of my turn. So now we figure out what he's going to do. He is going to take this leaf. Good. All right. He's going to take this leaf and he's looking to connect to brown. So again, he's looking for connections that don't touch my leaves if at all possible. There are 2 brown out here. They're both either adjacent to or actually my leaves. So no matter what happens, he's gonna do that. He could come there. He wants to connect to as many as possible, but this leaf shape is not terribly friendly for that. So that's an option. He only touches my leaf once. He certainly doesn't want to come here because he doesn't want to connect with, oh, well, hold on. That is a way for him to get 3 points. And he doesn't want to connect to both of my leaves. So that might be an option. He does want to connect to as many tips as possible. So I think this is the better move for him. It satisfies the rule of not touching as many of my leaves as possible. And he gets as many tips touched as he can. Now, because he touched 3 or less, he still does get to grow a mushroom for free, which then, of course, says, hey, you know, who's got the most mature mushrooms around? Well, the adjacency is my adult mushroom again. So I get another sun token because I win that contest. Okay. All right. This is working out well. Prioritizing that adult mushroom that one time was a really good move on my part. I'm going to have to use that strategy later. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, hey, NetGod. Thank you for joining. I hope your sports ball team is doing well this day. Let's see, especially since it's not playing my sports ball team. Okay, let's see. What are we doing? We'd connected its leaf. We satisfied the requirement to connect to brown. We satisfied the requirement to connect multiple times and the fewest number of leaves that have my mushrooms on them. So that's the placement. It's going to get 2 green and 2 brown actions. I wish there was a solo mode card. There probably is, and I'm just missing it, but that's fine. Let's take a look. I don't have the rules all memorized for solo yet. He gets 2 acorns for the 2 greens. Fine. They're presently doing all right. Whether they continue to do well remains to be seen. Yeah, I feel that. Okay. And then 2 brown. Move up 1 space on the tree. If the north wind is at a fork, choose the path of the arrow on their card. Okay, so they're going to choose the rightmost path. And it's going to do that twice. So it's going to gain a sunshine token. And it's going to gain another leaf card, which in this case is an acorn. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cash out those 5 that he's got for a 5 token, just to keep some singles available for future scoring. There's a lot in there, but still a little bit less fiddly that way. Okay, that's him. He didn't take an animal. He went up the tree to compete with me. Right, okay. He doesn't have 3 suns, so he doesn't advance the season. Huzzah. That means it is my turn. Now, before I start drawing cards again, I need to decide what I'm doing. Well, I got to play one of these 2 cards, either the ginkgo or the trident maple. The trident maple is orange. We only have 1 orange card out there, and it's almost full. So I'm behooved to do that. The other option is the ginkgo. It's brown. We already have 2 brown out. And one of them has almost not been messed with at all. So I might, but then the ginkgo only has 3 points on it, which is going to make it really difficult to connect in any sort of meaningful way. I think I might go with the trident maple. Let's take a look. Let's pull the trident maple and take a look. We don't have one of these out yet. Can I make 3 connections this way? No. No, I can't. I can only make 2. That's unfortunate. Can I go this way? Oh, isn't that cool? I can't. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Huh. That is a legal placement. And that would mean I get 2 brown and 2 green. So I get to move up the space on the tree again, which I like. I'll show you why. And then green, I need more cards. So we played our trident maple. That's what we played. And we only leaves us with 1 card. And remember our warning from the beginning of the game, you never want to not have cards to play, because then you start taking -3 acorn chits every single time you can't play a card. Not good. So I definitely wanted to take that. So I get to draw 2 more green cards. That's great. Reload the coffers here a little bit. And we get to move up the tree. So back to the tree. Yeah, so I took the left fork. So I'm going to take this 1 step. Lets me get an animal card. Well, I definitely want my 3rd blackbird. So now we have our set of 3 blackbirds. And because I don't have a matching, I might try to top deck for another raven. Especially since none of the cards that are out there belong to him right now, and none of them have an acorn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just top deck. And we got an owl. That's fine. I'll take an owl. There is an owl out there. That's nice. Okay. And I skipped right over the mushrooms. So let's do the mushrooms. I did not play a 2nd card. So because I didn't play a 2nd card, I don't grow a mushroom. And we don't worry about, oh, they do. Oh, it's leaf placement. Ah. Okay, so we always check for mushroom reactions, regardless of whether a mushroom has been played, because it's about placing the leaf. So now we look around and we see, hey, who's got the most number of adult mushrooms adjacent to me? If I'm reading that right. I can read that again. Let's see. Each of the largest mushrooms on an adjacent leaf rewards its player. Yeah. You do not gain reactions from your own leaf placement. Oh, interesting. So it's all about your neighbors doing stuff. So when the AI does something, I earn those myself. But when I do it, he doesn't. Maybe I want to leave it open so he can do it rather than plugging it up. Can I still? I don't think so. I think it's probably better. I'm just going to do that. It's better for me. So even though I don't get one, it's fine. It's fine. We're good. We're fine. We're all good here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. It is what it is. So I have the largest, but I don't score myself. So I've mostly just cut off the ability to get one more sunshine token. That's fine. That's me learning the game. It is what it is. All right. So that's it. That's the end of the turn. We come here. Another owl. Ooh, 2 owls. Definitely want to connect to an orange leaf next turn if I can. His turn. He is going to draw this leaf here. So he drew this leaf, and he wants to connect to green without connecting to me. to my mushrooms anyway. And he wants to connect as many points, many tips as he possibly can. Don't think he can connect to this green. I guess technically that's legal, and it doesn't talk to my mushrooms at all. And he can't connect more than twice here, so I think that's the best move he's got. So he gets 2 acorns for the 2 green connections. And he connected less than 4, so he gets a baby mushroom. And in this case, there are no adults around, so there's nothing to gain, and they certainly aren't mine, so nothing to gain there. I'm pretty sure the first few times I did the adjacency thing with mushrooms, I was gaining. We were both gaining sun tokens when we should not have been, so it's fine. I'll make a note of that in the show notes on YouTube. Now that I realize it's only when the opponent places something adjacent to you, do you get something? Do you get a sun token? Anyway, so it gets 2 green, which I gave it, and 1 brown. So it gets to move up the tree. It's getting an acorn. So it moved up the tree 1. It is now ahead of me slightly. We were tied a moment ago, but it's now in the lead and gained 1 acorn for landing on that first acorn spot. Okay. Don't care for this majority of mushrooms it's got right now. This is the full state of the board as it stands right now. Okay, now back to me. He still only has 2 sunshine, so he can't advance the season. What card do I want to play? Well, there are no greens available to pull from right now, and we're really short on green cards. I could... That Trident Maple's interesting. I could come over here and connect to these 2 locations. I don't mind that, actually, the way that's set up right now. Is that possible with that leaf? Yes, it is. Okay. So how that works is I would get 1 orange, 2 green, and a yellow action. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to play our Trident Maple card. That's what we play. Now, the orange, I'm going to draw this owl. So now I have a set of 2 owls. So the third owl is out there. 2 green, lets me draw 2 more cards. Also not bad. I'm also trying to cut him off from access to green. And 1 yellow. 1 yellow is just getting a sun token. So now I'm up to 2 sun tokens. I didn't grow a mushroom again. I do have 2 ginkgos, so I might want to play the ginkgo next turn. Get another mushroom out. I think that's the end of my turn, though, because I did all of my actions. I don't have enough sunshine to advance. All of the things that I touched don't have adult mushrooms on it from the leaf, so there's no awarding of... Is it adults only, or is it the most mature? Largest mushrooms. Each of the largest mushrooms on an adjacent leaf. Now, I guess how would I read that? does that mean the babies are technically the largest? So does that mean he gets 2 sunshine tokens? Probably. Each of the largest mushrooms on adjacent leaves rewards its player one sun tokens from the supply. Yeah, I think that's what that means. Mushroom reaction example. Yep, that's exactly what the example that I'm seeing here has 2 baby mushrooms on it. So he does earn 2 sun tokens. That's probably why the season hasn't been advancing. Okay, quite so quickly. So next turn, he's going to advance the season. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing to keep in your head so far about this game is the mushroom adjacency checking. All right. Well, it is what it is. We'll move on. No big errors here, just little stuff that I'm just now grokking. So we might go on for an extra turn or 2 because of that, but I don't think it's really going to change the game in a major significant way. Okay. Now it's his turn. He is going to play a ginkgo. Handy, because that's what I wanted to play. Well, that's interesting. The ginkgo underneath the ginkgo he's playing is green. That's good. We'll get another green out, but it's before he gets a chance to do that. And we need the green to draw more cards. So, okay, he wants to touch orange, and there's only a couple places he can do that. He can do that here, but he doesn't want to because my mushroom is there. He doesn't want to award me sunshine at all. So he would go here. Can he do it in a way that would connect him? I don't think so. No, that doesn't work. He could go that way. That's an option. Of course, it'd probably be better if he faced inward because that way he has, no, he can't. It won't fit. I don't think. Oh, yes, it will. Look at that. It will. Wow. That's better because now he leaves a tip open for connection later. He doesn't connect to me. I don't think he's going to choose that, though, because he wants to make the most connections to orange possible. And the way he can do that is to do this. Even though it connects to mine, I think that satisfies the first priority rule the way it's written. So we're going to go with that, even though it benefits me a little bit. So he gets 1 yellow, 2 orange, and a red. But before we do that, he does get to place a mushroom because he only makes 2 connections. And the leaf placement says adjacency. He doesn't get anything because he doesn't get it for his own connections. But I do get something. I do get my sun because he did touch a leaf with my mushroom on it. And they're all babies, so there's no winners there in terms of largest. Okay. Now we get to his actions. Does he get a sunshine token for sitting on yellow? I think he does. Gain a sun? Yes, he does. Okay. And then he gets 2 orange. He wants stuff that matches his collection. That means he takes the fox for sure. And there's no reason not to take the chipmunk because it is a match and he will get extra points. So he will do that. And there are no acorns, so that's not a tiebreaker there either. Oh, both are good for me. Okay. And then he gets a red action as well. His red action it's still before the first hibernation, so place a baby mushroom on a played leaf. For additional red actions, place a baby mushroom on adjacent with the most on the adjacent. Oh, I see. For additional red actions. For the first action, place a baby mushroom on the played leaf. But he's already got one. On the adjacent leaf with the most open tips. If all adjacent leaves have mushrooms, grow one adult. Fine, but it doesn't tell me which one. So if I look at the adjacent leaves, I want to make this, it's going to give me the choice. So I'm going to grow this one, which is technically adjacent to what he placed, but it's not touching. So now it won't be adjacent and won't break ties. So that was my way of negating things. But you know what? It didn't tell me which one to choose. So fine. Okay, it is the end of the round. He does have enough sunshine tokens to advance the season, so he will. That passes over the first frost. So this is our first frost of the game. It shouldn't take very long to get to the rest of them now that we're doing this the right way. When the season token crosses the frost line, each player immediately chooses one type of animal to hibernate and move all animals of that type to their forest, from their forest into their winter den. Okay, so I'll do mine first because I'm the human player. I'm going to choose the, I could get a fourth if I wait. Do it later. I could get a third and a fourth if I wait and do that later. I think I'm going to go ahead and move my ravens down and see if I can't build these up a bit more before I move them down. Because we have one more frost. Winter may begin one of two ways: when the season marker crosses the winter line, when the third leaf pile is depleted. Got it. When winter begins, there is no immediate frost. Instead, continue playing until all players have taken an equal number of turns. Then there is one final frost before the game ends. Okay, good. I see. Got it. Okay. All right. We'll get to that when we get to that, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So what does he do during a frost? The Northwind will hibernate their largest group of animals. In case of a tie, they will prioritize the group with the fewest matching animals on the mat. It's not a tie. He's going to definitely move the chipmunks or squirrels. He's got 4. So we'll do that and put those down here for him. Okay, we'll scooch over what he does have, make room for more. Right. And I think we just move on. Now it's my turn. Well, we have 2 ginkgos. Ginkgos, it's a green. I definitely want to get more green out if I can. And I want to try to get groups of mushrooms. So it would be nice if I can connect that ginkgo to red, if I can. We're definitely going to play the ginkgo. We're going to play both ginkgo cards so we can get a mushroom. Oop, and I messed that up, didn't I? That's all right. Okay, playing both ginkgos so we can get a mushroom. We're going to pull that ginkgo out. Here we are. You can barely see it down here, can you? Okay, so we'll go up there. Now, I want to get it to red if I can get it to red. I could do that. That's 2 brown and 2 red. Not bad. That would be an option. It's probably my best option now that I'm looking around. Because I don't think I could get all 3 points of this touching over here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. I just unintentionally found the right spot, so we're going to go with that. So I get 2 brown and 2 red actions. I get to go up the tree. I like that, actually. I like that a lot. And then we get to grow some mushrooms. But we played the ginkgo card, which lets me immediately grow a mushroom before we even resolve our actions. So I will grow a mushroom, but more importantly, we will look at the reactions. I don't get a sun token for my own leaf placement, but he does get one because I did place next to him. Okay, now let's resolve. Let's go up the tree first. I get to skip over him when he's ahead of me and I move. So I get to go 1 and then 2. Both of them are acorn spots, but you'll notice that one has the number 2 written on it. So that means I get 2 acorns. I get a total of 3 acorns for that. So I'm going to pull a 5 and pull back 2 just to make some change. And now I'm ahead. And I'm at a fork. I got to decide what I want to do. I don't know. Okay, so that's brown. Now we want to grow some mushrooms. Well, everything, I could put a mushroom over here, create a group. Not a bad idea. Or I could just grow 2 of my mushrooms. Also not a bad idea. But let's look. Adult mushrooms that are on adjacent leaves. Groups of 3 are the biggest point values. So I'm going to go ahead and grow these 2. I believe I can do that. Because, yeah, place a baby mushroom or grow a baby into an adult. So now I have 3 adult mushrooms in a group. That's going to score me 8 points at the end of the game. Yeah, I like it. Okay, now I have 3 sun tokens. I am going to advance because I want those 5 points. So I'm going to, and I also am pretty well prepared to do another frost if I wanted to. So I went ahead and spent that. I'm going to advance the season to there, and I'm going to grab another 5 points. Okay. I have 2 cards left. I need to connect to that green next turn to get some more cards, but I'm still okay for the moment. We'll see what he does. Oh, reshuffle the solo deck. Oh, just like that. Okay, there's not very many cards. It doesn't take much to shuffle this. But now that's, see, like I said at the beginning when I was setting this up, I'm kind of surprised they included a reshuffle card in that solo deck. It adds some spice because you really don't know if you're going to see some of the cards that they've already played again or not. That reshuffle card might be way lower in the deck, and you may never see it, or you might see it like we did in the middle of the game. Okay, reshuffled. Reshuffle solo deck. There's no way. There's no way that was in the top, but that's fine. I'll go ahead. I buried it, and now I'm going to shuffle it again. And we'll go again. Okay, let's see. If this is on top again, I don't know what to do. I should just go to Vegas, I guess. Nope. Okay, cool. So it wants this leaf. And it wants to connect to green. Of course it does. Of course it does. The good news is it doesn't want to connect to me. And as I look around, there is no way to connect to green more than once on any current spot. So it's immediately not going to connect to me, which is also bad, but also good. So with that in mind, it wants to connect as many times as possible. I believe the answer to that is this. There's no other way to do it. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to go there because it's the most amount of points it can connect to. Baby mushroom on top because he didn't connect to 4 points. Adjacent, he only has his own, so he doesn't get a sunshine token, but neither do I. So it gets 2 red and 2 orange. It's looking for animals of the types that it already has. It has none. It's looking for acorns, so it takes the acorn cards. For the record, since you couldn't see that, he took one of the owls that I wanted because it has an acorn icon on it, and one of the birds that I was waiting for. So basically, he just took the 2 best cards that I wanted. I just couldn't get there before he did. It's fine. That one of those owls is still out there, so I can at least make a 3rd set, hopefully. So then the other thing that he does is the 2 red. Now, for him, what does he do when he gets red? I don't... Okay, that's right. This is the most complicated one. After the first hibernation, grow baby mushrooms to adults, prioritizing making groups of 3. If there are no baby mushrooms, place a group, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right. So he has an adult here. He gets to do 2. So he's going to grow, he wants groups of 3. He'll go ahead and grow this one and this one, because that gives him a group of 3 here. And then later he can do a group of 3 here or here or here, right? So I think that's pretty decent. Yeah, I don't see a better move there. And he got a group of 3, so it's fine. Okay, so those are his actions. Move him right along. Refill. Refill, and he does advance the seasons because he's got 3 sun tokens. And now it becomes a frost. So I take my set of 3 blackbirds, and I go ahead and, since he took my 4th, I'm just going to go ahead and push him down. And then he takes his largest group, which is these 2 foxes, and he puts those down. So we'll scooch that over. He advanced twice, and I didn't give him points. I should have. He should have gotten 5 and 4. So I'm going to take 2 5s and pull back 1 of his singles. Okay, that's better. That's much better. That is a 4, right? Yeah, that's a 4. All right. Okay. Now back to me. Now, what do I want to do? I have a silver maple and a tulip poplar. I don't need more yellow on the board. There's plenty of yellow I can get to. So the tulip poplar is not so much what I want. There's not a whole lot of orange left. So maybe I try to go for that orange and connect it to some green if I can. That might be difficult. Okay, so yeah, I think we're gonna play the silver maple, and we're gonna connect it to a green. Can we get... That's pretty good. I get 2 red, a green, and a yellow. If I did the same thing over here, I wouldn't get a 3rd color. And I don't think this leaf type can sneak in here to get this 1 green over on that side. So I think this is my best choice. Yeah, so I'm going to draw 1 card. Silver maple goes away. I'm going to draw 1 card. Ooh, another tulip poplar. Good. So I can get a mushroom growing, but I'm going to have to get some green before I do that. So then I get 2 red and a yellow. Well, the yellow is easy. That's just a sunshine token. I'll take that. Now the 2 red is either growing or dropping mushrooms. Well, I have... all of my mushrooms are adults. And I don't think I have to grow on adjacent, right? I can just, with red actions, I can just do add one, maybe motion to a leaf. Any leaf. Does not already have one of your mushrooms. Okay, okay, well I have a leaf out here. So I get two of these. So I think I'm tempted to grow one. I think I'll place one and grow one, but I would like a set of 3, so maybe not. Maybe I'll just place 2 babies. I'll place 2 babies here and here. And now I have the group of 3 babies, baby mushrooms, to grow. For my next red trick, I can maybe do that. Okay. I have one set of adults that'll score, and I have another set on the way, hopefully. Right. What else? Is that all I did? That's all I did. Oh, adjacency. There I go again. He gets 2 sunshine tokens because I placed it here and both of his mushrooms are adults. Not that it mattered. Yeah, that does matter. Because there's nothing they're all adults. So in this case, he just gets 2. Huh. Tricky. I don't like giving him sunshine tokens. I should be paying more attention to that, I think. But that's all right. Hello. Right. Is that it? That was it for me. Now it's his turn. Yeah. Now it's his turn. What's he going to do? Oh, of course, he's going to drain this last leaf. So that's our first empty pile. When the third pile empties, then the end of the game is triggered. Then winter is triggered. We're 2 tiles away from emptying our second one already. Okay, so what's he want to do? He wants to touch orange. Well, I guess the best he can do is maybe hang it off this way. He could come over here. This might be better. I don't know. We'll see if I can make that work. He doesn't want to touch mine if he can avoid it. That's what he wants to do. And I think he might do that because it's 2 on orange and 1. So it's a third, and he wants to touch as many as he can. So this satisfies both briefs. He just can't avoid me in the process. But I think that's okay. Yeah, he's going to go with that move because it gives him 2 touches on orange. So I get a sunshine. But he gets 2 brown, 2 orange, a third brown. So 3 brown and an orange and 2 orange with that move. That's a huge move for him. Okay. 3 brown. Well, he's going to move ahead on the tree now. I thought I was doing okay. So he's going to go 1 to get some acorn. And then he can jump over me, and he wants to go to the left path right now. So he's going to come here and get a green, which just gives him another acorn. And then he gets to go another, which is up there, which gives him another acorn. Yikes. And now he's pulled ahead of me on the tree, too. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's go over here. Yeah, okay. What am I doing? That was that. He didn't grow. I didn't do any of the mushroom stuff. I got a sunshine token because it took care of that. But he did grow a mushroom on that, and I didn't place it. And that's it. Oh, he gets the 2 orange, of course. The 2 orange are animal cards, and he's looking for. He's got an owl, so he's going to steal the owl. And then he wants acorn, so he's going to take this fox. Unfortunately, that leaves me with no third owl to... I'll deal with acorns for cards. I don't think he gets them, though, because the rules don't say give him acorns when he takes them. He just says take cards with acorns. I could be wrong. I'll double check the rules, but I don't think it's specific enough. Okay, that's that. He does not have enough sun to advance the season, so we move on. There's his hedgehogs. Where was that last round? I would have been able to save my owl. Jerk. I did that backwards, didn't I? Hold on. Owl, owl. There we go. Okay. Okay, well, I need to get green connected. He just dropped some green, though, so that's good. We're definitely taking a tulip because we don't have a choice. Can I connect this tulip to 2 green? I think the answer is yes. I can't connect it to 3, can I? I don't think it's wide enough. No. Well, yeah, I can do that. I don't want to connect to his, though. I don't have a choice. I need the green. I think that's better than nothing. Can I come in here and somehow sneak in? Oh, now that doesn't help. That gives him 2 sunshine, though. I don't know, though. That's pretty damn good. I would get a red, 2 brown, and 2 green. It's hard to pass that up. I'm totally going to do that. And I am going to play both cards because I'm going to get 2 cards back from that draw. So I'm going to get the free mushroom. I probably don't need to worry about it because it's not going to be part of a group and it's towards the end of the game. Maybe I don't. Maybe I strategically don't grow a mushroom there. He's going to get 2 sun for those 2 mushrooms, though. Nothing I can do about that. Okay. So he got his sun. He's now got enough for next round to advance, which is okay. I get 2 green, so I'm going to draw 2 cards. Another tulip poplar. Great. And a sweet gum. Haven't seen one of those in a minute. Okay. And 2 brown. So let's take a look at the tree. Well, I definitely want to take advantage of skipping him if I can. It would be nice to get some animals, but I'm going to draw 1 anyway. So, because I'm going to draw 1, and there's only 1 up there that I really want to do, and that's to take away from him another acorn and get an acorn for myself. I think I'm just going to skip over him. I'm going to take a green, and I'm going to skip over him and get an acorn. So a green lets me draw another card, which right now is a blessed, blessed thing. And I got a silver maple. That's nice. And I got, what was the last one? An acorn? Yeah, an acorn. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, so that's brown. Took care of that. What's left? The orange. Well, we said before, I want this acorn hedgehog. And that gives me an acorn because I took him. And it was one of the ones he was looking for. I don't want to give him any more acorns because he's stealing points from me, the jerk. Back to here, and that's the end of my turn. I don't have enough sunshine to advance, even if I wanted to. Lots of frogs out there. Don't like that. Okay. All right. That was his turn. No, that was my turn. Now it's his turn. He is going to play ginkgo. What does he want to do with his ginkgo? He wants to connect to brown. Well, there is no brown that isn't mine, except for maybe up here, which is really hard to reach with the camera, of course. Let me see if I can move the discard out of the way. I guess I'll go up here with the discard. I was trying to avoid... I'll go face down. No, because then it looks like a draw pile. I'll move it down here. It's fine. Okay. So he could put it up here. Like that. And that avoids, I don't think he's going to get more than 2 on that type of leaf anyway. So that avoids touching anything that belongs to me. And it gives him 2 touch points on brown, which is what he's looking for. So that's what we're going to do. He's going to get a sunshine token. And then he's also going to grow a mushroom. He's looking to make them bigger. Also, he did put a baby mushroom on his new tile. He wants groups of 3. And he gets 1, so it doesn't really matter which one he grows. But if I was him, I'd probably grow it somewhere central so that he can make groups wherever he wants. And maybe possibly connect them in. So that leaves him with 2 brown, which of course means he's going to leapfrog me on the tree again. He wants to go left, which is good for me because there's 2 acorns that way. But it also means he gets to draw an animal card and get another sunshine. Not good. So I'm going to give him the sunshine and an animal. Now, what animal does he want? He's going to pick from left to right, is what that means. And because well, no, it's not. It's an easy choice anyway, because he's already got this animal. So that's what he's going to pick. Okay. No, you can't see that. He just went here, and he grabbed this. He grabbed that blackbird from right here. That's what he got. Okay. Back out here. Now, that is the end of his turn. He can advance the season, so he will. And so he gets 4 points. Hate that for him. Okay. I am not doing well points-wise. We'll see. We'll see how well I do. That leaves it to me then. Well, I could play this tulip poplar again. It's brown, which is the only problem. I could connect it to brown, though, and see if I leapfrog him again. And I get to grow a mushroom. It's a baby, though, and I really want red if I'm going to try to compete with mushrooms. So, and there's no real good red options that let me get combos with other types of actions. Except for maybe up here. And I only get 1 red action at the time to do that. I'd like to be able to get multiple if I could. No matter what happens next round, he's going to trigger winter. What does he want to do? Or what do I want to do? Do I not want to worry about mushrooms, and instead do I want to go up the tree a lot? There's not much for me along the tree other than to try to beat him out on 3 extra points. So I think maybe instead I focus on animals, but I'm looking at that deck and what's out right now, and none of it matches what I need. Nor does it really match what he needs, so I'm not even looking at it defensively. I could top deck it, but I'm not really prioritizing that. Maybe I connect to red and yellow to try to grow some mushrooms and get a sunshine so I can advance before he does, which would get me the 3 extra points. Yeah. I'm not going to bother growing a mushroom because it's so late in the game. I'm not going to get it grown to an adult. So do I play the tulip poplar? I guess I could. Do I play the sweet gum? It's red. Or do I play the green silver maple? A lot more points on these sweet gum, a lot more points on the leaves on the sweet gum and the silver maple. We're running low on green, so I'm tempted to play the silver maple. What can reach what I want to reach? I'm trying to figure out how I get to like 2 points of red and a yellow, right? And I'm not seeing a way to do it. None of these are going to have the shapes necessary to make that big of a connection. I don't have enough. Maybe I just worry about red and brown and see if I can't get above this. Yeah. That's tough. I think we go with God, this is hard. I'll play the sweet gum. I'm also thinking defensively. I don't want to play the red out there in case he wants to go red and then he gets to grow a bunch of mushrooms real fast and gets a ton of points. I'd rather eat up some reds. So I think I'm going to play the tulip poplar after all. And I'm going to play the brown one and I'll eat up the advantageous connector, you know. Is that even a legal placement? I don't even know. Let me look. I don't think that's technically a connection. I can't quite get to the tip of that. I'm just adjusting to make sure that all of these are legal along the way here. I don't think I can make that connection. More to the point, I don't think he can make that connection either. Does that work? No. Can I use a different leaf type? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to work. Let me just play with this for a second because I'm new to the game. That's my excuse. No, that's not going to work. Whoa. No, that's not going to work. Okay. That probably means that this other one won't work either. No, I can't get that in there. There's nothing I can do to make that work. So if I can't do it, he can't do it either. And so maybe I do just that. No, can't place that. That doesn't work. Ah, this is tough. How do I make this connection legally? Can I? I don't think I can do it. No, I don't think I can do it. Okay, well, since I'm not going to get two red connections, no matter what I do, maybe I just don't prioritize that and I instead go for up the tree and yellow. I don't know. Man, how do I maximize this last action? Is that legal? I don't think so. I don't know. I might be willing to make that concession. That does look fairly legal. The tip kind of curves up though right here. It kind of makes me wonder whether that's technically legal or not. I kind of think it's probably not. It's probably not legal. So I will not push my luck. That's legal. That's pretty legal. But it's only 1 brown, 1 yellow, and 2 green. I don't need more cards. Not really. Now that's legal. That's absolutely legal. I get 3 red. I'm going to do that. I'm totally going to do that. He's going to get 2 sunshine, but I don't care about that. I get 3 red actions. So I'm going to go ahead and just grow all 3. I get 3 red actions and a brown. Okay, so I'm going to grow all 3 of these babies right here. So now I have 2 sets of 3. Yep. This group and this group. Okay, just like that, I have 3 adults and I have 1 brown. So I could grab an animal or I can get 2 more points. Feel like 2 more points makes more sense than top decking the animals. Yeah, 2 more points. Okay, so for the record, here's how I got 2 points. I was here and I went to the space that had 2 acorns on it, and that's how I met 2 more points. Okay, I don't think it's going to matter from the sake of points. I think he's already definitely winning. So these are the 3 cards I have left. We definitely did play the Tulip Poplar. We did not grow a mushroom on it, although I guess I could. But there's no point. It's a baby mushroom. It won't score anyway. And more importantly, I ate up a bunch of red access that he would have otherwise been able to exploit for his own personal gain. So I don't, though, have the last sunshine to advance, unfortunately. So he is going to get the 3 points for doing that, and there's nothing I can do to stop him. That was the one concession I had to make. So that's that. This does not go here. This goes down here. Okay. And then there's that. He is going to play also a, what is it called? A Tulip Poplar. And he's playing the orange one. He wants to connect to yellow. Preferably yellow that doesn't have my mushrooms on it. That tells me right now that he's looking to do something like this, which is way over here. You can barely see it on the edge, but the connections you can see. That would be probably the best move. Maybe he could make this connection. Yeah, he can. I'm going to let him have that, because that's what I would do if I was him, and I believe that is a connection. That's the move he's going to make. It's the most amount of connections. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 3 tips though, so he still grows a mushroom. And he gets a brown, 2 red, and 2 yellow. So he gets 2 sunshine. Not that he needs them, but he does. They're worth points at the end of the game, jerk. So he got his 2 yellow. He's going to grow 2 more yellow mushrooms. So I'll just go ahead and grow these 2, because that's another group of 3 for him. And 2 orange. Now, he's pulling from, he wants to go this way on the animal board. So none of the animals that are currently in his forest match what's currently on offer. There are no acorns. So he's just going to pull from this direction. He's going to go these 2 right here. Lots of single animals this time for him. So many so that he's already off the board. You can't really see it, but it's fine. If he ever starts to match them up, I'll prioritize them differently. Okay, he does advance. So it is going into winter. That means I get one more action, so does he, and then the game is over, I believe. But he gets 3 points for that. So I'm going to pull back a 5 and give him, sorry, not pull back a 5. I'm going to pull back 2 and give him another 5. Spoiler alert, he's probably going to win. Oh, another frog. Great. And another turtle. Great. I swear I shuffled them a lot. Okay. Now, we moved into winter. Let me reread the winter rules one more time. Okay, winter. When the season marker crosses the winter line, when the third leaf pile is depleted. Well, we're into the crossing the winter line rule. When it begins, there is no immediate frost. Instead, continue playing until all players have taken an equal number of turns. Then there is one final frost before the end of the game. Well, now that's interesting. Because he just finished his turn. So all players have already completed an equal number of turns. So I believe that means the game is over. There's no more turns to be had. Now there is one. Yeah, so I'm going to go with it because he just ended the round. So, and he went second. So there's no more turns to be had. Then there is one final frost before the end game. The game ends. Okay, so I'm going to take my largest group, which is owls, and move them in. He's going to take his ravens and move them in. Okay. So those are his. Mine are down here. I think we're tied on the number of animals, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay. Right, game end. The game ends when it is winter and all players have taken an equal number of turns and resolved the final frost. Players gain acorns according to the following rules. Tree. Unfortunately, he is one step ahead of me. So he gains 6 and I gain 3. I tried to keep pace with him, but... Okay, mushrooms. Group of adult mushrooms that are on adjacent leaves grant you a score based on the group size. I have a group of 3 and a group of 3. I believe that's what that means. Or maybe it doesn't mean that, but let's see. I think I don't have a choice. I think they have to be considered adjacent. If I had had 2 distinct groups of mushrooms with space in between them, then it wouldn't be, then they would be 2 different groups. But as it is, they are all adjacent, so it is one group of 6. So unfortunately, what that means for me is that it is 8 plus 3 is, 11 points? Okay, 11 points. Now he looks and he goes, I've got a group of 4. No, I got the group of 3, that's 8 points. And I got another group of 3, that's another 8 points. So that's 16 points. Brutal. Okay, I don't think it matters, but we're gonna do this right. Just making change. I might as well make change again here. Make this easy on myself. Okay. Okay. He's at 49 points right now. Great. I think that's it for mushrooms. I had one group of 6. He had 2 groups of 3. Okay. That's it. Animals. Each type of animal in your winter den gains 3 acorns based on the number of animals of that type in your den. So he has 3 groups. 3 points, 3 points, and 4. Oof. 6 points. So 6, 6, 12 plus 1. So 13 points in animals. Okay. Now he's at 62 points. Cool. I have 2 groups of 2. That's 3, 6 points. 1 group of 3 is 6 points, is 12 points. Okay. Let me cash myself out real quick. Make it a little easier. Yeah. These acorns can be sometimes hard to pick up because they're round, very slippery. Okay, 5. Okay. Yeah, he's at almost 20 points ahead of me. Okay, sun and leaf cards. Gain 1 acorn for each 2 sun tokens and or leaf cards left. I have 3 cards and 2 sun tokens, so that's 5. So I get what, 2 points? 2 points. He has how does he score at the end? If the Northwind has more animals remaining in its forest than you, they gain 1 acorn for each animal in excess. Oh my God. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra points. Yeah, it's just gonna murder me. Okay, well, it is what it is. Yeah, I got like 47 points, I think. Yikes, that is hard. Okay, it got 68 points to my 47. Wow. That is a difficult solo. But then again, it's also my first game, and there's a lot I didn't understand about the strategy. I think I'll do better on subsequent plays, but I still think that's a very challenging game. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let me think about that a little bit here. So what do I think of it? I really like the puzzle. I really like the thematic integration. I love the squirrel chase up the tree. I think that's extremely thematic. I like the idea of collecting animals in the forest. I love the idea of growing the mushrooms. The clunky thing to really wrap my head around in the system, and that's, I don't know if it's clunky just because it's new to me or clunky because it just feels really finicky, but that's the leaf placement adjacency thing and who gets a sun token when. Those rules are kind of really difficult to not forget and not get something wrong, because you're thinking leaf placement, but you're also thinking who's got mushrooms somewhere, and that grants you a sun token. So it's not like the leaf causes more mushroom growth. It's not that there's a mushroom placement that causes more mushroom growth. It's that the leaf placement grants the other players a sun token, but only if they have the most mature mushrooms on adjacent leaf. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's a lot. That part of it is probably the hardest thing. It's the thing I probably most consistently got wrong in the game. Is it enough to turn me off the game? No. I really do think that this is a cool, chill, efficiency puzzle-ish. This thing about like the actions being tied to the color of the leaves and the shapes of the leaves, and then like where do you leave what exposed and where to like avoid giving your opponents too much access to stuff, but also making sure that you give yourself access to things. I think the AI works reasonably well. It doesn't select leaves or color adjacency based on the state of play, though. And I understand why. They're trying to keep the AI light and simple, but it's very random. It's not strategic at all. It's not saying, oh, you're hot and heavy in sunshine tokens, I need to compete with you there. It's not, oh, you're way up in the tree, so I want to try to get brown to try to race you up the tree. It's not doing any of that logic at all. And because of that, it made strategizing against your opponent in the rules nearly impossible, because it's just a random deck that's going to just do what it wants to do. So I don't know whether you're going hard and heavy into the animals, or whether you're going up the tree, or whether you're growing mushrooms, whether you're, what is it, right? I can't really nail down the opponent, because it's not going to prioritize like a human will. That's not to say that humans always going to be pigeonholed into a certain thing. There are plenty of human players that just like to shotgun blast and take whatever they can get. So yes, those people exist, absolutely. But more often than not, you're going to be like, oh, I want to try to do that. I want to make sure I stay ahead of you in the tree. I want to try to take away an acorn from you. And he was doing that. He was taking away acorns plenty, but he wasn't saying, oh, you've got, you're going after this one animal type, so I'm going to take that animal type away from you. He wasn't kind of doing defensive draws on the animals. He was doing his own stuff. So in that way, it's polite. It's not being rude. Like some other players might be really, really cutthroat going after the stuff you want. It's not doing that. But on the other hand, the deck makes it so random that it's really difficult to plan and to think about my next move and how it might react. There's no reacting. It's just going to go where it's going to go. So the only other bummer that I think about is that the expansion content. There are 3 modular expansions. It's called Season of the Bear. And it looks like this. This is the box. Season of the Bear expansion. Very cool. It's really tiny, little box. I started actually setting it up to include at least one of the little modular expansions, but they're all 2-player or higher. None of them have solo rules. And it's very frustrating, because it's cool stuff. There's like asymmetric player power, animal allies, right? That give you a certain ability that's only yours. There are communal single-use things that you can add to the game. There's even seasonal, like at every frost and when you cross over into winter, there's communal like targets you can hit, goals you can try to reach that will score you acorn points if you're the one that achieves them. And I thought that might be the one that would have solo rules, but no, because the deck is so random and it's only focusing on that, it's not looking at that objective and saying, okay, well, factor that into your decision making. Because I understand they're trying to make it easy. They're trying to make it breezy. But as a result, I have all this expansion content that I would love to play with us in a solo context. But instead, I'm relegated to having to wait to play this multiplayer in order to enjoy all of that extra cool stuff that I think is necessary to really round out the replayability of this game. So would I enjoy this puzzle multiple times over the years? I think periodically, seasonally, I would take Leaf out and play it in the fall like I did now. And I would have a great time with it, and I would very much enjoy it. I don't think it's going to make it to my table more than seasonally, unless somebody in my gaming group raises their hand randomly and rarely and says, I definitely want to play this game. Then it's only going to probably come out when it's seasonal, when it's the fall time where I live. And I want to make a forest floor, and it's really pretty. And I want to have the squirrels chase up the tree and like all of that, which again, I don't mean the criticisms I have don't detract from the quality of the game. I actually really like the game. I just wish that some of the things were a little less difficult to parse, the leaf mushroom reaction stuff, and the bonus content. I wish the bonus content, the expansion content, had solo rules. But those are my 2 quips. Other than that, I really think this one shines, and I really like it especially as a relaxing little fall time, walk through the forest. I think Leaf does absolutely hit on that front. So there we go. That's Leaf, and that's Shub done playing for another week. Thank you very much for joining me again this week. We have another fall time themed game coming to the table next week because it is still fall. And then we'll probably play something new, something brand new, probably coming off a truck. But we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. So tune in next week, if you will, for something completely different. All right, take care, guys. See you later.